Most people don't think about their drains until something stops working. The sink slows down, the shower starts backing up, or worse, everything clogs all at once. And now it's not just annoying, it's a really, really big problem. And this is something we see every single day. And the big misconception is this: people think that drain problems happen suddenly. They don't. They build up over time. And by the time you notice it, you're already pretty far into the problem. So in this video, I'm going to break down how your drain system actually works, why drains clog in the first place, the warning signs most people ignore, and what you can do before it turns into a much bigger, painful issue. So this is something we deal with every day. We deal with drains every single day, whether it's in the kitchen, whether it's a shower or a main line backup, and it is almost always following the same exact pattern. There's a slow buildup, there are ignored signs, and then there is a big problem that you can't ignore anymore. So part one, how does your drain actually work? How do all of your drains work? Most people think that drains are just pipes that carry water away, but it's a full system. So every single drain in your home connects to a larger pipe called your main drain line. And that line runs underground, and it connects to either the city sewer or a septic system. And what's happening is water is flowing out by gravity, but it's not just water. It's soap, it's grease, it's hair, it's food, it's debris, all moving through the same system. And this is something that I think a lot of us might know. Under every sink, you have something called a trap. So that curved pipe holds water and blocks sewer gases from coming back into your home. If you've ever looked under your sink and you see that U-shaped pipe, that's what that is. To make it simple and in summary, your drains are a connected system. It's not just one pipe that runs, everything is connected. All right, part two, why do drains actually clog? Clogs don't usually come from one big event, they come from buildup. And it's the buildup that we mentioned before. In the kitchen, it's grease, it's food particles. In the bathroom, it's hair, soap residue. And then you also can get it from laundry. You can get it from lint and detergent buildup. And what happens over time is that material sticks to the inside of the pipe. Little by little, the pipe gets narrower. Water still flows, but it's slower and slower and slower. And it's kind of like cholesterol in your arteries. It builds up really slowly until eventually there's a really big problem. And then eventually something hits that clog in your line, and now you've got a full blockage. So clogs are something that's gradual. It's not something that happens right away. It's not something that happens suddenly, but it is something you notice suddenly, and it seems like it just happened. Part three, warning signs that most people end up ignoring. So as I've mentioned, almost every single major drain problem gives warning signs. Most people just ignore them. So the first sign is slow drains. This is when your water takes longer to go down. That is your first signal. Number two, gurgling sounds. That bubbling noise you hear is air trapped in the line. Number three, kind of gross, bad smells. That odor that's coming from the drain that is most likely buildup sitting somewhere within the pipe. Sign number four is a big one. There's multiple drains acting up. So if there's more than one drain that is slow and or backing up, that is usually a mainline issue. That is where it goes from a small problem to something potentially much bigger. But if you catch it early, it is simple. If you wait a long time, it becomes a real pain in the butt. So what happens if you ignore it? Well, if you ignore it, this is where things can get expensive. If buildup keeps growing, eventually water has nowhere to go. And when that happens, it makes sense, the water comes back. So in reality, that could mean that sinks are overflowing, shower is backing up, basement drains flooding, toilets are flooding. We do not want that. And this is the part that nobody really thinks about until it happens, unfortunately. So ignoring that small drain issue can really lead into major damage. All right, so what can you do to avoid the mayhem that we have been talking about? Well, it's pretty simple. If you want to avoid all of this, you have to pay attention early. So if you see a slow drain, that is an early warning sign that something could be happening. Number two, you have to be very careful with what goes down the drain, especially grease, especially food, especially hair. Number three, get it checked before it fails. Professional cleaning and maintenance removes buildup before it becomes a big blockage. It is a lot easier to clean a pipe than it is to deal with a backup. And that's coming from technicians. They're saying that as much as the homeowners are. So in the summary, prevention is much easier and much cheaper than reaction. The biggest mistake people make with drains is waiting until something stops working completely. But by that point, you're already dealing with a bigger issue. If your drains haven't been acting normal, it is worth getting them checked out before it turns into something far more serious. We offer free estimates, and we can take a look before it becomes a far bigger problem.